For many, the Elbin Library is a place to come and study for exams and do homework. But what are students to do when the library closes early or isn't open at all? Today, we will be talking to students and library employees to get to the source of the problem or to see if there is a problem with the library work hours at all. The library is a great resource for students that both live on campus and commute to campus for their classes. There are study rooms, tables, couches, and printers that are all available for students while the library is open. However, the library is open 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Friday, closed all day Saturday, and open 5 to 11 p.m. on Sundays. We talked to student and library employee Dakota Knotts to see what he thinks about the library being open 24/7.
Partially, yes, I do. I think that having the facility open all the time would be really beneficial to students. The only thing I see against it is just trying to find the staff to work it, because I don't know how they would handle it. I don't know if they would have student workers keep it open that late. So I'm here about 9 hours a week. So when I am here, I use the facilities. Like, I'm constantly printing, using the books that they have on hold. I'm constantly going through the systems to look for books to read. A lot of students like myself tend to work late, and they would tend to work later into the night. And I don't know how many times I've needed to print late at night, and I just couldn't because the library wasn't open.
So from the student's perspective, the library being open all hours of the day and each day of the week could provide a lot of benefits, such as the ability to print papers late at night, or would be a quiet place for students who work on assignments late at night. But for a student employee, that could mean taking away precious time to study and work on assignments during the weekends, with the possibility of having little to no students show up. We talked to library employee Ed Wolf, who talks about the times when the Elbin Library was open on the weekends and whether the library would actually be beneficial to students from a librarian's perspective.
One thing with everybody having their own computer or their own laptop, a lot of the library resources are available, in their dorm room on that, so they don't necessarily physically have to come to the library. A lot of times that's why not as many people come to the library to begin with. When the library used to be open Saturday afternoons, the student worker that worked used to be able to count on one hand the number of people that would come in that 4 or 5 hour period of time. But again, with the availability of the databases from your dorm room, people don't have to physically come in here as much as they used to.
It's understandable for employees to not want to work on the weekdays if very few students use the library on the weekdays, let alone the weekends. With students having dorms and classroom buildings being open late into the night, there are multiple alternatives that students can use to study and be productive instead of the library. But what about if the students are too busy on the weekdays to get schoolwork done or need a place for group projects to get together and collaborate? We talked to an on-campus student, Kelsey Anderson, who talks about how the library being open on the weekends could benefit groups of students as a whole and could potentially be a factor in keeping students on campus on the weekends.
I do think it should be open. I think that would be convenient to all the students here on campus, whether they live on campus or they're from off campus. I think it would help them be more productive just because a lot of people are busy during the day, and after closing hours, that seems to be the time that everybody has more free time to do stuff and study. Even though a lot of people don't really see it as a study time during the weekends, it's getting close to finals and people need a place where they can study as much as they want, and being in the dorms is kind of bad because it's always loud in there, and the library is a quiet place for people to get together and study or work on their stuff. So I think it would benefit on the weekends.
With the school wanting to keep more students on campus on the weekends, the library being open all day Saturday and Sunday could be a huge pull for students by giving them a place to study with friends or by themselves. However, there would be a need for student employees to take time off from the schoolwork or free time, as well as taking away family time from hired librarians. This risk may not be worth the reward if no one decides to use the library on weekends like longtime employees have seen happen in the past. So if it ever comes time to change the hours of the library, the best interest of the students and faculty alike would have to be taken to heart when making these choices. Whether the library is open all hours of every day of the week or sticks to the hours of operation it has now, it will always be an excellent resource for students of all kinds. My name is Pat King, and this has been a TV Field Magazine. Have a great day, and study on, kids.